Okay, abusuya yɛbɛma kɔ abasonko so ɛreba Ghana Politics Avenue. So breaking news bi abɛyɛ no ɛne a project ɛde ato yɛ screen no ɛnkyɛn de amamo no. Atto Forson, Akuffo appointed acting minister for defense and environment. Ɛnra awerɛhosɛm a ɛto Ghana ɔman mu no nyinaa no. Ɛyɛ yɛ defense minister, ɛyɛ Dr. Omane Bawumia na ɛkyɛ sɛ ɔno nso ɛka ɛyɛ owu a ɛkɔɔ so ɛwɔ crash no ho a yɛdi kan ɛde brem yɛ breaking star news no ɛde mam na ɛnɛ President Mahama appoint ɛyɛ Atto Forson as ɛyɛ defense minister abusuya ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa akwanti when breaking news a yɛde brem a yɛ project ɛde ato yɛ screen no ɛnkyɛn ɛde amam na ɛndra crash no ho nsɛnsɛm no ɛyɛ TV3 foɔ nso ama yɛ nsɛm bi a ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ hɔ mom yɛn bonwura mu hɔ na yɛn konkoti nsɛm a ɛkɔ so unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share ma afofron so ensa into me enkabi aha Ghana Politics Avenue so medamase
transported to the mortuary. 8 caskets. These individuals left home today, 8 living beings, but they have returned in caskets. That's a heavy blow for the nation. But these people, they have families, they have identities, they have friends, they have colleagues. We'll speak to a few of them shortly. These are the faces behind the remains in those caskets you saw draped in the Ghana flag. Dr. Edward Omane Bawumia, Minister, charge of Defense until today. Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Minister, charge of Environment, Science and Technology until hours ago. These two have that responsibility of joining hands with other ministers in the president's commitment to fight illegal mining. And so where they were going, the event they were attending was one of the many initiatives that this administration was putting in place to help fight illegal mining. It's an interministerial approach, and that's why you have these two. The Honorable Emmanuel Akuffo, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, was already at the venue at this event. So these two were also billed to join him. Unfortunately, their destination, which was at the program, was cut short. Dr. Samuel Sapong, who was a national vice chair of the NDC, one-time Ashanti Regional Minister, and mayor of the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, also gone. Flying officer Chum Ampedu, he served his country well in this capacity in the Ghana Armed Forces. He was not alone in this. Squadron leader Peter Anala, who was a pilot of this Z9 helicopter that went down, and Sergeant Ernest Addo Mensah. These were the officers on board. Mr. Samuel Abuaje, a parliamentary candidate, former parliamentary candidate of the NDC, and Alhaj Muniru Mohammed, an acting deputy national security coordinator. This is a heavy loss to the nation, and rightly so. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has declared 3 days of mourning for these gallant heroes who we lost in the line of duty. Let's recall that responsibility that befell the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, earlier today at the Jubilee House, when we were all sitting on tenterhooks waiting for that official announcement of what exactly had happened. Take a look.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, who is with us here, and the government of Ghana, I have the unpleasant duty, sadly, to announce a national tragedy involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region. Government regrets to announce the demise of the following persons in the tragic crash. Dr. Edward Kofi Omane-Boamah, Minister for Defense. Alhaji Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Muhammad, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Lemuna, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture. Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, and Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Addo Mensah. The President and government extends our condolences and sympathies to the families of our comrades and the servicemen who died in service to the country. All flags are to fly at half-mast until further notice. Thank you.
Our State Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, there. After this announcement and putting out much more detail of what we had gotten earlier, the mood in the Jubilee House reflected the heaviness that the nation is feeling at the moment. We just want to give you an idea of what happened after this information that the Chief of Staff, Julius Deborah, conveyed to the nation on behalf of the President. And the persons who were there could not hold back their tears, clearly reflecting the loss that the nation has been dealing with since the early hours of this afternoon. A number of ministers were summoned to the Jubilee House for this particular announcement. The Roads Minister, Governs Kwame Agboja, you see as well Fifi Fiavikwete, who's the General Secretary of the NDC. Behind him, John Jinapo, the Minister in charge of Energy and Green Transition. Also, Dr. Kasiela Forson, the Finance Minister. You see all of them were there earlier today. It's a big loss. And as I indicated, these persons have families who are mourning at the moment, reflecting exactly what the nation is going through. But let's connect to one man who worked closely with Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah prior to the 2024 elections. That is, he, Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, the late, and it's heavy to say, but that's the reality that we have to deal with. The late Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah was the Director of IT and Elections for the NDC ahead of the 2024 elections. And he was in charge, together with his team, of putting together the technological infrastructure for the NDC to be campaign ready and election ready. He was deputized by Rashid Tanko Computer as the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Rashid Tanko Computer, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I know it's a heavy moment for you, as it is for all of us, but you work closely with Dr. Edward Omane-Boamah, not just as a boss, but also your relationship evolving to be friends. This is a wicked Wednesday for you, is it not?
Alfred, one of the darkest moments that I've ever seen is today. Very dark. Terrible Wednesday. I've seen deaths upon deaths. I've seen it, but this one, Alfred, no. This one, yes, is so terrible. So terrible. Especially a person that you have chatted with in the morning, 7:45, concerning a project, gave you orders what to do, what you should do, and all that. He didn't even tell me he was traveling. We just finished chatting, and I was to give him a report after. Now, who am I going to give the report to? This is terrible. I've never seen this. Such a brilliant person. I've met brains, but I can tell you, Omani Bawumia was having A+ brain. Look, 2024, all the strategy, the master plan, everything was done by Omani Bawumia. Omani Bawumia did everything. Look, when you hear us talk and put out issues like that to counter the activities of MPP and EC, it was from Omani Bawumia. Even to the extent when he was made the defense minister, he was still giving us direction as to how to handle the directorate. The example was Akroma. He was the brain behind all the strategy that led us to winning the Akroma. This morning, before he even left for the trip, we were plotting Akotia. He gave us all the strategy, all the plan, and showed us what to do next and all that, and we're to report back to him. Now we lost him. Go on.
And we understand this helicopter took off in Accra at 9:12 a.m. this morning. And you say that around 7:45 you had a conversation with him.
Yes, 7:45, just this morning. This morning. I still have it on my WhatsApp here. If I open it and show it to you, you'll be shocked. Such is life.
Indeed.
Terrible. So devastated. So devastated.
You reference a number of things that you've done together with him as the Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. But beyond that, I know that you've also done quite a number of things with him as well. Just give us some of those fond memories of the man whom we have lost, Dr. Edward Omani Bawumia, and indeed Dr. Murtala Mohammed as well, because you at some point also crossed paths with him.
Well, Alfred, all the people involved in the accident, except the crew members, the 5 senior government officials, have worked closely with each of them. Dr. Omani Bawumia, of course, was more or less a boss, a friend, and a father. I can't still believe. I'm still looking at it as if it's a dream, something like a dream, because the man, I've met people, but this man, in the next world, I will still look for him. Dr. Omani Bawumia, in the next world where we are going to meet again, I will still look for him and be his subordinate in the afterworld, because I know what I'm talking about. He wants the betterment for everybody. That's the type of person he was. When you are down, he'll bring you up. When you are falling, he will try and bring you up and pipe you. Get up, get up. Keep eye on the ball. Alfred, one of the things I will not forget was that dreadful day, the day the Electoral Commission came out with register without figures. They didn't have figures, they didn't have analysis. Dr. Omani Bawumia told me I should keep my eye on it and I shouldn't shake, because this is the determinant of our victory. I should keep an eye on it. I will not forget this thing. And the body camera strategy. It's a strategy. We have not mentioned it to anybody up to now. All those talking body camera, they don't know the meaning. Just a few of us.
You mean the body cam that
body camera,
you would have activate the body camera? But that was heard more from Malik Basintale. You say all of that was part of the strategy?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That was deployed. It was a code.
Yes. You only need the tools from us to decode it. You cannot. And so we know what it's about. And he has the code, and he gave us some of the tools to use it, and it worked for us perfectly. That's why I'm saying that in the next world, I will still choose him. Look, Honorable Murtala was my junior in training college. I attended the same training college with him, but then he was my junior, was then in the final year when they came in. And I knew him from that onset. till when he became an MP and all those kind of things. We've worked closely together. He's a very passionate young man who wants the development of his constituency. He first being an MP in Nanton and then Tamale Central. He's always, when he meets you, he'll be talking about the youth. He will tell me, oh, computer, how are we going to do to get more jobs for our people up there? Let's do something about it. We are always discussing. Dr. Sapon, just yesterday at FEC, Functional Executive Committee meeting, he's our vice chairman. He came to me looking for laptops for his children. He said his grandchildren. I gave him 2 laptops. And yesterday at FEC meeting, he came. I always call him my father and say, hey, for this, my son, I'll never forget of you. Look at what you have done for me. He was thanking me, not knowing that was the last time we met after the FEC meeting. When he was asked to go and join the team for this program today, not knowing that we're just rather telling him goodbye, go and join. Such a fine gentleman. You remember he used to be the Serial Fraud Office Executive Director.
Yes.
That's one thing, yes. And then Ashanti Regional Minister.
He was one time mayor as well.
Yes.
Mayor of the Kumasi.
Mayor as well. Yes. It's such a... Look, Alaji Limuna was the regional minister for Northern Region. At that time, I was then the director of elections and treasurer for NDC in the North. So we worked together closely because as director of election, I was confiding with the minister always to prosecute the elections. So I know his pedigree before he was now moved to Agric. And later on, when His Excellency John Dramani Mahama established his farm up north, he was assisting in managing the farm for His Excellency. He just got his appointment not more than 3 weeks ago. He was just appointed as the Deputy National Coordinator for National Security Coordinator. Such a nice brain. And then Abuaji, who was then our candidate for Obuasi East, as well as Deputy National NADMO Director. You wouldn't know, he's a current Deputy Director of NADMO, Director General NADMO. Such a nice young man. You remember the issue about the elections, the Obuasi East election petition matter that we're dealing with. It even came to Tesano. He was the one we're fighting to get elected in that constituency. It's unfortunate we lost such fine brains. It's one of the darkest moments in this country. One of the darkest. I've never seen this before.
You said the late Samuel Abuaje. The late Samuel Abuaje is the current Deputy National Coordinator of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO. That's what you said.
Yes. Yeah, he works in NADMO. Yes. Samuel Abuaje. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, these are fine brains who have the passion of the country at heart. They want the development of the country, and they died in line of action. I mean, the whole day has been terrible for me. All these 5 people have worked closely with them, and I know their pedigree, and I know what they intend to do for the country. But death has cut their life short, and I can't fathom this. It's terrible. One of the darkest moments I can think of.
It's a sad development indeed. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you. Their souls rest in perfect peace as we all continue to hold their families in prayer as well, and all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Rashid Tanko Computer is he was and still is the Deputy Director of IT and Elections for the NDC. He is acting CEO of GIFEC. He worked closely with the late Dr. Edward Omanebuama, who was the Director of IT and Elections for the NDC ahead of election 2024. And all these individuals. Now we're getting a bit more detail on some of the people whom we have lost today. Samuel Abuaje.
Okay, abusuawe wene ensema ekoso ewo political highway so Atto Forson NHS right now President Mahama as acting defense minister. Abusuawe wene ensema ekoso beda masesa maje pene kokoti sa ensem we edemai aha Ghana Politics Avenue so beda mase.